All right, so this is going to be a guide on Sohei. I'm going to make it simple as possible. I know some of these moves get complicated sometimes, so I'm going to simply break it down in the beginning. And later in the video, I'm going to share a strategy that I use that made me 1,000 times better with this hero. Now, if you look at the moveset, each of his moves has this soul stance. Now, this is activated once you do an attack. You can do a heavy or light attack. After that, it'll follow up with another attack. That will be your soul stance attack. And as you can see, if you look closely, I have a small flame on my back. That lets me know that I've activated my soul stance. All I gotta do is land a chain light attack. So I'm gonna go overhead, then to the left. Okay, so as you can see, if you look to the left of my character, I have a white flame on my back left. Now I need to do the same thing, but do it from the right. All right, so I landed the right light attack, and as you can see, the weapon that I landed the attack with is glowing. Now you wanna do this for each weapon on your body. So since I got both the light attacks down, I'm gonna do the heavy, so heavy attack, overhead heavy, that activated the hammer. Now I'm gonna do the side heavy. That activated my other weapon. Lastly, all I have to do is throw a light overhead. I threw the light overhead. Since I've thrown the light overhead, it made my last soul appear, and now my weapons are glowing red. This is super important because you could do a ton of damage once your character is glowing red. So before I perform this move, I'm gonna break it down for you. Dodge forward, guard break, then zone attack right after. Once you do this, you're gonna do a total of 95 damage. It's crazy. So we're gonna dodge forward, zone, hit him with the stab. That's 95 damage, and you can do this at any point long as you have your 6 souls. And this hero also has feats that allows him to just simply gain souls whenever he wants. He's a super powerful hero just by having this move. I'm a light attack, and as you can see, I did another overhead light attack and it glowed blue. That means that attack is undodgeable. This would be really good to use against heroes like assassins because they get real dodgy. This is the basic zone. All you have to do is press the heavy attack and the light attack button at the same time to activate this. But if you throw a light attack, then throw a zone, he'll be uninterruptible. Another thing about this is that it activates the soul stance after the zone attack. So I can throw a light attack, zone, and that zone acts as a heavy attack, so it activates the heavy soul stance. So that means that the zone attack is a quicker way of activating the heavy soul stance. Let me explain. If I wanted to activate the heavy soul stance normally, I would throw a heavy, and then it activates. But as you can see, this attack is so long and drawn out, they're gonna see this coming. So what I'd like to do is I like to throw a quick attack. It doesn't even have to hit him, just throw an attack and then throw the zone because that will then activate the soul stance. But the zone is a little quicker and you also get the benefit of it being uninterruptible. So I'm gonna throw attack, zone, and then it activates the heavy soul stance. I don't even have to do that. I can actually just throw a zone, do this, and cancel just to throw them off. They don't know whether you're gonna dodge or go through with that unblockable heavy. And if you do go through with it, you have the opportunity to throw an unblockable after that also puts your opponent into another 50-50. I'm gonna swing, zone right here, that's a 50-50. He has to either dodge, try to throw an attack, or try to parry that attack. He doesn't know if I'm gonna cancel that and guard break or go through with it. So he has to decide. So I'm putting pressure on him right there. So I'm gonna throw attack, put pressure, and then I have the opportunity to put more pressure on him with the unblockables. During that time I'm throwing that unblockable, he has to decide, is he gonna go through with it? Do I need to dodge? Or is he gonna cancel and guard break? Regardless on what the opponent decides, he's gonna be pressured to decide it. And that's gonna work in your advantage. That's why this hero is really great for applying pressure to people. Now let's talk a little bit about his guard break. So let's talk about his guard break. Now this guard break reminds me of Peacekeeper in a way, or if you play Shinobi, it may be a little familiar to you. So I'm gonna guard break, and then I'm gonna press light attack, light attack, light attack. You cannot do 2 light attacks and then throw them like Peacekeeper. No matter if I press a heavy attack after the guard break or light attack, you have to do it in 3s. Sohei also has sort of a bash. If you dodge forward, press X, you have a little bash. You can also follow this up with a light attack or a heavy attack, which is pretty much guaranteed if you land the bash. The bash doesn't have that much range, but you definitely can cover some ground with it. Sohei also has pretty nice unlocked attacks. So if you run at your opponent unlocked, throw a light attack, he'll give him a little poke. And if you run at him with a heavy attack, he'll do pretty much the same thing, but a little bit slower. This is pretty telegraphed, so I really wouldn't use this a lot as an opener, but it's there if you want to use it. As I play this hero more and more, I noticed the main thing you want to pay attention to is activating that stance and putting pressure on people. That's the most important thing with this hero. Activate that heavy soul stance with that zone attack. Don't just use the heavy attack. Do a light attack, then go into the zone, and that will activate the stance. That's a lot quicker, it's a lot safer in my opinion. And one last thing I need to mention is the fact that if you land a parry, you can actually just activate your heavy soul stance. So I'm gonna get a parry in, simply press the heavy from the side, that's gonna activate that one. I'm gonna do it again, activate it from the left side, and then we're going to go overhead. Doing this will activate all your heavy souls. So the mallet is really slow, so I'm going to throw it overhead and then throw the mallet. As you can see, that's a super slow attack. Even if you get the parry, it's still really slow to develop. So what I like to do to activate this, instead of doing that, I like landing a successful guard break and then pressing the heavy attack button and do that chain. Once you do that chain, it's going to activate that overhead mallet, which is probably the slowest ability you have on this character. But let me know what you think down below. If this video helped you out, let me know by hitting that like button down below. And with all that being said, I'll see you in the next video.